let me put a question to you, and you tell me what you think and what you will do in these circumstances. Imagine in your country, whether in Ghana, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Cameroon, Congo, or Uganda, imagine you constantly see other African nationals continually flooding into your neighborhood. Imagine that. And all of a sudden, cost of home rentals goes up, and crime is increasing, and the streets are crowding, and the local public hospitals are packed with people you do not understand their language. Just imagine this.
The only reason today his mindset is the way it is because Nigerians are showing them flames.
More than 3,000 Ghanaians, and these people are holding Ghanaian passports, are Nigerians.
Yo, what's happening, guys? It's your boy Uncle Pete with another episode of Uncle Pete's podcast, guys. I am all smiles. I am in a very good mood because, you know, like I always said, eventually people are going to get the message. Eventually people are going to start listening. You know, I have a saying, I don't know if it's mine or somebody else has said it before, that it's better to learn from the mistakes of others than your own. Because once you make your own, the consequences may not be the same. It may actually be more severe. Before we continue with the show of today, I just want to say thank you, guys. I still get super thanks from some of you subscribers, and some of you are promising to donate to the channel. You're just waiting for that month-end salary to come in, you know. And guys, I'm telling you, I'm all smiles with all the messages you guys send me promising to donate to the channel and everything else. But I just want to say something first. To anyone that wants to donate to the channel, do me one favor, okay? If you have children, whether you are co-parenting or anything else, before you donate to this channel, do me one favor. Buy your little one a Happy Meal. Please. Buy your little one a Happy Meal and put a smile on the little one's face. That, to me, is a bigger donation to this channel than you can ever imagine. As a father who loves his children, who's very present, who loves to see his children smile, children mean a lot to me. And I was just looking at all the messages and how you guys are like, yo, Uncle P, I can't wait to get my salary. I really want to donate. I love your channel. And I'm just thinking, you know what would really put a smile on my face? A bunch of kids just getting Happy Meals from their dads, their moms, because Uncle Pete told them to do it. I love you guys and I appreciate all the support. All right, guys. You know one thing about South Africa and South Africans, they've been insulted for many years. You name the insults, South Africans have probably heard it before. 30%ers, MUMUS, xenophobes, you name it, South Africans have heard it. But eventually, people start realizing, Vachabiki, what's going on here? What am I talking about? Well, today we are going to do a little breakdown of our brother here, who have all of a sudden seen the lights and is speaking in a very different tone. And I bet you a lot of other content creators will very soon start speaking like this. Let's go.
Video in circulation where South African men and one particular lady walks into a public hospital calling out all non-South Africans to leave the hospital. They walk in and call out all non-South Africans or non-citizens of South Africa to exit without treatment, and actually states that for those whose conditions are critical, be stabilized first and then be checked out. In fact, they actually checked out a man with a patient in a wheelchair who identified himself as a refugee from Congo. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to see the video before I proceed with my take on this. And by the way, my name is Cyrus, and this is Tuntun Network in Accra, Ghana. Be sure to subscribe.
So first of all, I want to say thank you to Cyrus and to Tuntun Network because I will be using a large portion of your video to make this content, and I hope you do not copy strike me because this is a lesson that everybody needs to learn. The fact that you as a Ghanaian who also lived in South Africa, and I believe you actually have a South African ID yourself, but you are back in Ghana, will agree with what I'm about to say in this episode. Let's continue to listen.
Click on the bell if today is your first time. Let's watch this video quickly.
If you know that you are not a South African citizen, may you please stand up and leave our hospital. Thank you very much. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you. If you are not a South African citizen, please leave our hospital. How are you, my good doctors? Anyone who's not a South African citizen, just because of this side, please stabilize them. After they've been stabilized, you can discharge them. You are a refugee. You came here legally. They could have directed you to the camp. So they could have, whoever who allowed you to be a refugee here, not unless you bought your document. So whoever who allowed you here.
Problem is it? If I'm not South Africa doesn't even have even a single doesn't have a refugee camp. I'm not in the camp.
Okay.
Whose problem is it if I'm not?
Let me answer you then.
I just wanna, before he answers him, so the guy is asking him, whose problem is it if I'm not in the camp? What refugees don't understand? What refugees don't understand is that they were not supposed to be wandering around. They were supposed to be in refugee camps. That's where they were supposed to be. And they are fully aware of this. And the fact that they are not in refugee camps, and the fact that the police do not arrest them when they stop them and notice that they have asylums, that is what gives them the egotistic and the mindset that there's nothing that can happen to them. So for those of you who do not know, this is March for March that is doing this currently. Let's continue to watch.
Camps I can go to.
Okay.
Which country do you come from?
I'm from Congo.
Congo.
You're from Congo. What is the nearest country to Congo? If you're seeking refuge in South Africa, because according to you cannot come to South Africa, seek refuge in a wrong country and ask us silly questions, ma'am.
No. The government.
Which government?
The government.
Which government? Which government you're talking about?
Let me tell you something. Shh, keep quiet. We don't have time to reason with foreigners. Leave, my guy. Leave.
Go on.
No.
Let's go on.
Shush. Leave. Leave.
Let's go.
We don't reason with foreigners. We don't want the reason.
You ran away from your problems. You came here.
When you get well, when you get on that hospital bed, just look at it. Next time when you come, when you want services,
There won't be a next time. There
When
won't
you
be a
want
next
checkup, you
time.
must go to a private clinic or a private hospital. When you get well from our hospital bed, do not come back here. Here, we only allow South Africans only. All hospitals, all public hospitals in KZN, all public clinics in KZN are for South Africans only. Do not ever come back here. When you
Now guys, let's be very clear. That gentleman is saying, when you get well, be informed, do not come back here. Do not come back to our public services and government hospitals. Go to private hospitals and private clinics. Guys, they are doing absolutely nothing wrong. I saw a video of these humans, right? What? Talking about March for March. They took people out of hospitals. This is the video we're talking about, and how this is illegal. And they took a lady who was pregnant, a man in a wheelchair, which is this man that they just kicked out. Guys, people are making false stories about what March for March and Operation Dudula are doing. They are not putting people's lives at risks. They are making sure if you are critical and you are being treated, that your treatment is being dealt with first before they tell you to leave. If you are in a hospital bed where you cannot immediately leave, they let the doctors know. Treat the individual, but once you discharge this individual, be informed you cannot return. So there's a lot of misinformation that a lady passed away, this person died, and all this because Operation Dudulo March for March did all this. Guys, don't be fooled by nonsense. Don't be hearing just unnecessary stories. Like I always say, guys, unless they can physically open their mouth and bring video proof of what they are saying, they are lying. We continue to watch.
Here, we only allow South Africans only. All hospitals, all public hospitals in KZN, all public clinics in KZN are for South Africans only. Do not ever come back here when you're...
The whole of Africa is on a ticking time bomb. And I've said it here in one.
The whole of Africa is on a ticking time bomb. That's not true. South Africa is on a ticking time bomb. If South Africans do not act and do not stay consistent in what they are doing, their country will end up like ours. I've seen many videos on TikTok where people are like, yeah, South Africans, they always do this every year. They will start causing problems, doing this for foreigners and this and this and this, and eventually they get tired and they move on to a different problem. The fact that there are South Africans that think like that is evidence that people are fully aware that South Africa is full of problems And there's a lot of problems that need to be dealt with. But there's not enough South Africans that are willing to deal with these problems.
Of my episodes, that in the next 5 years, I suspect elections in Africa will be more of immigration matters than even economic policies. This behavior by some youth in South Africa isn't shocking to me after I've lived there before, ladies and gentlemen. And every time I ask myself these important and critical questions, I come to the same conclusion. Let me put a question to you, and you tell me what you think and what you will do in these circumstances. Imagine in your country, whether in Ghana, Zimbabwe, Nigeria, Cameroon, Congo, or Uganda, imagine you constantly see other African nationals continually flooding into your neighborhood. Imagine that. And all of a sudden, cost of home rentals goes up, and crime is increasing, and the streets are crowding, and the local public hospitals are packed with people you do not understand their language. Just imagine this. Be honest with yourself. What will be your first line of thought? Now,
you see the question is asking now. This is the same question South Africans have been always saying. How do you expect us to accept the nonsensical nonsense that foreigners are doing in our country? And yet you expect us not to do nothing. The only reason today his mindset is the way it is because Nigerians are showing them flames.
More than 3,000 Ghanaians, and these people are holding Ghanaian passports, are Nigerians being deported back to Ghana. Make it make sense to me. How did this happen? How is that possible that Nigerians are...
You know, every time they get shocked about certain things, I'm like, why are you guys shocked? Immigration at Ghana airport are selling Ghana passports to Nigerians to travel to Europe, Dubai, all because they have banned them from traveling. This is very sad for Ghana leaders. You see, the problem is this, guys. The problem becomes when you realize that a certain particular group of Africans are no longer wanted around the world. But for some reason, these people are still able to enter into these countries that they are banned from. It is because they are able to steal identities. Guys, I made a video of 300 Chidimas. What did that video literally shows you over 300 kids that were given birth certificates in South Africa that are not South Africans, that are foreigners. Now imagine if 300 children were given birth certificates. What about their parents? That means their parents also have fraudulent documents. What about, guys, moral of the story is, this thing drags. If there's 300 children, that means there's 300 adults. Whether it's mothers or fathers, that could possibly be 900 people in total that have illegal documentations that are legal and active, accessing facilities, government facilities, getting grants and everything else that they do not deserve or are not allowed to get. Do you remember this article? How many IDs were cancelled? Now imagine before these IDs were cancelled, how much did they benefit from the taxpayers? Guys, Africa, how long are you going to wait before you realize that our brothers and sisters who are illegal, who are entering into our countries, trying to find greener pastures, through all means will destroy our countries? The same is happening in Angola. The same is happening now in Ghana. But when South Africa stood against it, everybody called South Africans xenophobic until they started feeling the same pressure. Now they're like, ish, you know what? Maybe South Africans were right. Maybe they were right. Maybe we spoke too soon. To Ghanaians, to Cameroonians, to Senegalese, and every other nation out there, the message is very simple. If you are not happy in your country and you do not see a future in your country, and you seek green pastures in somebody else's country, it's simple. If it's employment that you're going to look for, apply for a work permit. If it is studies that you're going to look for, apply for a study permit. If it's asylum that you're seeking for because your country is at war, apply for an asylum and stay at a refugee camp. I was talking to a friend, a Congolese friend of mine yesterday. I bumped into him at the gym. And obviously, every time people talk to me, they tend to bring up my channel. He started telling me how he likes my channel, although he doesn't agree with everything I say, but he appreciates my channel. The only reason he appreciates my channel now is because he has started his own IT company and is finding it very difficult to charge people accordingly. And I laughed at him. I said, remember when I mentioned that my printing business was affected by the fact that there are a whole bunch of Nigerians now in town, CBD, on printing businesses. And these printing businesses are charging 15 Rand, 10 Rand, 25 Rand for prints that we used to charge 100 to 200 Rand. Reason why they do not care about charging higher prices, because they don't care about the printing business. That business is a disguise for all the other stuff that they are doing. In order for them to clean their money laundering, they are using these businesses. So they make the business look like it's been successful, like they are getting big jobs, while in reality, the business may be failing. But all their other fraudulent businesses that they do, their scams, all that money, they make it look like as if it's coming through these businesses. Today, he opened a IT company. He is a legal South African with a South African ID. He even told me, I just applied for my smart card and it came out. He was showing it to me and how happy he was about it, telling me I need to go apply for mine. His house, he got it with a bank loan. His car is on credits. He's a Congolese foreigner living his best life in South Africa. Credit left and right because he is legal. Now he's feeling the effect of his brothers and sisters. His company is not doing well because every time a client comes and he charges a client tells him, yeah, but in town there's this Nigerian guy who charges this. But there's this guy who and he has to constantly tell them, yeah, but that one is not a registered company. I have to pay tax. I have to do this and that. Nobody cares, guys. When you want to buy a phone, if you cannot afford this phone because this phone is 5,000, you know you can go to a Nigerian who will sell you the very same phone for probably 2,000 or 1,500 because that phone was stolen and blocked. Here you go. And this is where the problem becomes, guys. Once you start supporting these businesses that do not pay tax, these businesses that do not benefit your country is the one that suffers. This is the reason why you see on this video, Zimbabwe, 75% of the economy is literally dependent on what? These informal sector businesses. But it benefits the country nothing. And this is the reason why their government shut it down. The unfortunate reality about South Africa is, and I'm going to say this knowingly well that I may get into trouble, police officers, traffic cops, and all these people benefit from these businesses by going to get briberies from them. I've been with Nigerians. I know how it operates. Police officers walk into these businesses, threaten them, they get 100, 200. It's become a known thing. So they let them to continue to operate, not caring about the effect it has in the economy. Today, Ghana is crying because they are feeling the same thing South Africa is feeling. And why are they feeling it? Because Ghana is finally getting developed. Ghana is getting better. Is moving away from what they were. Ghana is growing again. Now that they are growing, the economy is getting better, they are realizing that the burden Nigerians are bringing upon them, it is too much. But when South Africa cried and said Congo, and keep in mind, they're only crying about Nigerians. South Africa has to deal with Zimbabweans, Mozambicans, Malawians, Tanzanians, Namibians, Lesotho, Pakistan, Ethiopia. Guys, people from the other side of Africa. I made a video about an Angolan guy that owns 61 municipal properties in South Africa. How is that even possible? And South Africa has to deal with all this. And when they cried and they said enough is enough, they were branded xenophobes. It is better to learn from the mistakes of others than to wait for the whip to come to you and then start saying Ish, if only. I'm your boy Uncle P, and I shall see you guys on the next one. Cheers.